YouTube, welcome to this live stream, and let me just state the obvious here from the start. I'm a Sharks guy, so I'm typically not making videos on the Arizona Coyotes. I don't have a lot of insight. I don't have a horse or a dog in the race. Like a desert dog. Get it? Should I? Okay, enough. Should I play this the whole time? No, I'm not going to do that. This is actually quite serious because it's bizarre in a day and age of teams. I should say this, in an age of cities and counties doing everything they can to keep teams and to lure teams. Now you have in Glendale, Arizona, a team basically saying, hey, Arizona Coyotes, you're done. At the end of this upcoming hockey season, we're not doing any more 1 year or multiple year leases at the Gila River Arena, which is unfortunate. It's sad. There's a lot to this. There's a lot to this conversation because Arizona as a hockey franchise has not been perfect by any means over the years. It's really been one step forward, two steps back for them constantly. On the ice, off the ice. As a renter of this facility, it sounds like they are significantly behind currently on payments. And obviously, we've been through a lot. The pandemic, an empty arena last year, basically. So there's a lot of things going on. But all of this proves that if you think running a professional sports franchise is like printing money and you can't screw it up, well, here's an example of a team that's just struggling to get it right. And now to the extent, like I said, how crazy is it? They're being told to leave the arena when in so many places across the country, there are empty arenas in cities and towns and counties saying, professional sports, please come play here. And I know that there's going to be cases made across the country and across North America for Arizona to relocate. I don't think it's going to come to that. At the end of this video, I'm actually going to give you a personal preference, maybe even a recommendation of what I think is the best case scenario. But before all that, since you're here, and if you like this type of content, if you're not subscribing already, can I ask that maybe right now it's the time to take care of that? I'm really trying to grow out this platform as a place for you and I to have these conversations and discussions. And also this, at the end of this video, if you actually like it and you want to recommend it to other YouTube viewers, just hit the thumbs up button. I would greatly appreciate that. Okay, let's get to the tweet today from the City of Glendale. It's a thread. So here we go. With an increased focus on larger, more impactful events and uses of the city-owned arena, the City of Glendale has chosen not to renew the operating agreement for the Arizona Coyotes beyond the upcoming 2021-22 season. Beautiful picture there. And by the way, this is kind of the whole problem of hockey in Glendale, Arizona. It's not to say that the NHL can't work in the Valley. It's to say that look what's surrounding that complex. There's the football stadium. There's the hockey arena. I've been there. There's a nice hotel, the Renaissance, right next to it. There's movies. There's a Dave & Buster's. I mean, it's a great facility on its own. But it's literally on its own. It's surrounded by, look at all this blank space. I feel like Taylor Swift. There's a lot of blank space out here. There's not much going on. This is such an isolated facility in Glendale, and people who live in Phoenix and Scottsdale and Tempe and Mesa, this is a bit of a hike to get out here. In fact, every time you fly in to Arizona for a hockey game, it's one of the longer bus rides from the airport out to the hotel in Glendale. But a nice facility, don't get me wrong. It's a great spot. It's just that it doesn't necessarily work 41 nights plus out of the year. It's never been a great idea. And I do think this team, if they were successful, they'd have support. But this location is also holding them back. I don't know that this was ever a good idea from the jump. Sorry, back to the tweet, back to the thread. The city has informed the National Hockey League's Arizona Coyotes that the upcoming season will be the team's last in Gila River Arena. The parties have been operating under a year-to-year agreement for several years. Go away. The agreement provides that either party can decide not to renew the agreement for an additional year by providing written notice each year on or before December 31st. We're not even into September, right? So we are months ahead of this. And I will say it's unfortunate that we couldn't see this from a greater distance, but I could also tell you that this year-to-year thing and the fact that they'd been trying to negotiate a multi-year extension and it wasn't even coming close, and this is like the conclusion of it, it lets you know that the conversations have been going on for a while and they've been going bad for a while. Statement from the Glendale city manager, Kevin Phelps, who are thankful to the NHL and the Arizona Coyotes for being part of the Glendale community for the past 18 years. The decision to not renew the operating agreement with the Coyotes was not made overnight or in a vacuum. And you can understand that criticism, right? Like, you guys just can't get along and now you're cutting it off. This is a play, or this is an immature thing to do. He's basically stating right there from his opinion that it's not. We carefully weighed input from key stakeholders, our expert economist. I don't know why expert would have to be in there. Like, if you're hiring the economist, would you want a bad one? Our arena management firm and our city council. All right. Well, city council, arena management, economist, key stakeholders. It's a lot of generalizations there. There's only a few specifics, but it goes to tell you that they're making a collaborative decision. That sounds better. The future of the sports and entertainment district has never looked brighter. Is that so? And by the way, they're talking about the entertainment district of around Gila River Arena. What's the name of the facility called there? The Keystone? No. It'll come to me in a few minutes. But that's what they're talking about, that area surrounding the arena and the football stadium and the movies there. The future of the sports and entertainment district has never looked brighter, with more than $1 billion of investment during the past 3 years. The magnitude of this private investment is unprecedented in Glendale's history. So here's the quote. It goes on from Kevin Phelps. Over the next year, the city will be announcing many new projects that will generate incredible excitement for residents, visitors, and stakeholders. As amazing as the sports and entertainment district is today, so he says, the next several years will be even more transformative as this momentum continues. And that's pretty much the end of it. But if you're Glendale, even if you don't like this situation, and even if the Coyotes are late on their payments and it's not going well, and my question to you is, this arena was specifically built for hockey, and you can have other events there too. But how on earth are you going to fill that place 45 nights a year at the minimum? What else did you think? Like, we have plans. We're gonna unfold something that's great. That's the comment from Glendale. Oh, really? How do you plan on doing that? You're not even the only arena in the valley that's going to compete for a concert or the circus to come into town or figure skating. And let's be also honest here. I don't know what the next couple years of indoor large-scale events look like. I mean, certainly I think and I hope they'll get back on track well sooner than later. But as for today and tomorrow, I mean, there's a lot of restrictions. It's not normal by any means. So if you're Glendale, like, honestly, what you're ditching something without even you say you have a plan B, but you don't really have things lined up. I mean, you should have lined up stuff and then said, Arizona Coyotes, thank you, goodbye. Here's what we're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But they don't have that. And it's insane to me in this day and age that they are waving goodbye to 41 nights out of the year to have that arena, somewhat full, usable, making money off it. And now they're saying, you know what, we'll just forego all of that. It's crazy to me. So let's get to this. What's next for the old Desert Dogs? Can I bring it back one more time? I won't do this too much. Come on. It had to happen. So it's an interesting scenario for them because they are changing divisions from the Pacific to the Central, right? Realignment now in the NHL because the Seattle Kraken are joining the Pacific and moving Arizona out of the division. So if you're asking me, is relocation possible? Let me tell you first, I've understood that the team is desperately committed to Arizona. They want to stay in the greater Phoenix metropolitan area, which I commend, right? They've built their fan base. They don't want to give that up. They think it can work. I know it can work. But let me just say this. If it is a relocation thing, like, there's plenty of landing spots geographically that fit within the division. To my point, you don't want, just when the NHL finally got 32 teams, 8, 8, 8, 8, they don't want to now take a team and say, well, Phoenix is moving to, let me just say it, Hartford. Hartford can't be in the Central Division. Then you got to move somebody else, and they're not going to like it. So to just establish that, like, yes, there's plenty of landing spots in the Central Division geography. But even more than that, I don't think they need to leave Arizona. Let me tell you what I think is a best case scenario for the old Desert Dogs here. You've already played, and what's it called these days? It used to be America West Arena. I know that's not even an airline anymore. And then it changed several times, whatever. Wherever the Phoenix Suns play, the downtown arena in Phoenix. It's a terrible location for hockey because it's built for basketball. It's built for a 94-foot NBA surface. So when they play hockey, they literally have to take out one end zone. People on the second deck, they can't see over it. I wish I had a picture of it here. They've already played there for years before Gila River Arena was built and before they moved out to Glendale. It was like Cow Palace bad. No, it makes the Cow Palace look great, actually, in terms of fan experience. But they could temporarily move back there if they know right now that they're done in Glendale. Start the process as fast as you can on temporarily landing in Phoenix, right downtown, play a season and a half, 2 seasons, whatever it takes to build a brand new arena in, wait for it. See, I just need my button ready here. Wait for it. In Scottsdale. That's where they got to go. Everything is in Scottsdale in Arizona. It's where you want to be. That's where people are spending money. That's where a little bit of nightlife is. That's where the clientele is. And honestly, that's where the ice den is. There's a reason they put the public rink in Scottsdale. So there's so many benefits to the Coyotes staying and the Coyotes being in Scottsdale. So my best case scenario for this team is, yeah, you know what? Glendale, and Gary Bettman had been saying for years, Glendale's not really working out. So they called it. Take your options, go to Phoenix for 2 years, plan and build in Scottsdale, which, I'm saying this from the Bay Area perspective. It's hard to do stuff around here, right? Like, ask the Oakland A's how hard it is to build a new stadium in downtown Oakland. But in Arizona, it's just a different story. They have tons of land, opportunity. People think and spend differently, and that, I'm right or wrong. I'm just calling it like it is. It's a different scenario out there. In fact, they might publicly fund a lot of this, which you don't see in California. So this is a scenario where this should be an easy path for them to just move and stay. And quite honestly, this is them getting evicted. This is the hand getting forced, but maybe this is the absolute best case scenario for the old Desert Dogs. And let me just put it like this. I will circle all the way back to the beginning of this video. I said that I don't have all the insights on this and I don't have a rooting interest. Well, I kind of do have a rooting interest. I want good hockey franchises in potential growing markets, right? I feel like Arizona is a spot where, yeah, it's hot as can be for a lot of the year, but that's the inclination to go inside, learn and play hockey, pick up some skates, learn how to shoot and pass a puck. So it's a place and a market where, hockey, if it wants to be significant in America, it needs to grow in Phoenix. And it's a great spot. It's a great spot for that. So I'm hopeful. I'm rooting for the franchise. Again, let's also not put all the blame on Glendale here. I know that this comes across sounding like, well, they're kicking them out. And they are. The Coyotes as a franchise, we know they've been through a lot. Their fans, I take it back. Their fans have been through a lot because the team has failed on a lot. Over and over, they take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Like I said, so many times. And so I'm just hopeful. I'm rooting for them to be able to stay in the Phoenix area, specifically in Scottsdale, have a new building. And honestly, Glendale, best of luck to you too. I seriously, though, have no clue how you're going to instantly fill 41 nights a year at a building that's kind of in the middle of nowhere. And that football stadium, that's fine too, but that's a different story. There's 8, 9, 10 home dates a year for NFL teams with the preseason. That's not like 10 in 4 months is way different than 41 plus times. Really, it's more like, 45, 46 over 6 or 7 months. That's a lot of volume that you're taking away. And that's a big difference of why an indoor arena is a lot harder to fill on a regular basis. I take it back. What I meant to say is that the atmosphere and the location are not as big a deal for football because fans are only coming there a limited amount of times. Having the right location is a bigger deal for an indoor sport with that volume because people aren't going to just necessarily come there over and over if it's out in the middle of nowhere. Making one trip a year, the two football games you're going to go to, that's not a big deal. But if you're going to go to 17 Coyotes games, it better be close, it better be convenient. And right now in Glendale, it wasn't. I don't know what they're going to do with that building. I hate to see it on one of those deserted videos, those vacated, you see the people walking through the empty malls, like 14 years later after they closed on YouTube. At least I watch those. I don't want to see Gila River Arena turn into that. All right, that does it for this video. Again, since you've watched this long, if I could ask, hit the subscribe button if you like the channel. I really appreciate that. Thumbs up on this video if you liked it. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon. We are less than 2 months away from Sharks opening night. See ya.